Now the latest ITV news in the Calendar region with Lara Rostron and Ian White.
A very good evening to you and welcome to ITV News. This is Thursday night's calendar.
Yes, hello, good evening. Here are tonight's main stories.
British Steel row rumbles on as it's reported the Chinese owners want millions for the Scunthorpe site.
It's ruffling feathers. Plans for a new chicken farm in Lincolnshire are met with local opposition.
Their day-to-day life is going to be impacted by the smells, the HGV and the general traffic that's going to be caused by this development. It's really going to change the way that they live their lives.
Salary stalemate. Unpaid wages continue to present problems for staff at Sheffield Wednesday. We sit down with the club's new manager.
And ever fancied running a lighthouse? Well, they're on the lookout for volunteers at Spurn Point. Good evening. It's understood the Chinese owners of British Steel are at loggerheads with the government over the Scunthorpe site.
It's been reported a search for a new owner has come to a halt because Jingye wants millions to be paid to them in cash to complete the transfer.
Well, in April, the government stepped in to take control of the steelworks to prevent the blast furnaces being permanently switched off. Emma Wilkinson is live in Scunthorpe Forest tonight. And Emma, what do we know?
Well, it appears the saga of this site is still far from over. Let's rewind a few months back to April when the future of this site was very much in the balance. The blast furnaces were just hours from being turned off after Chinese owners Jingye said they were no longer financially viable. Emergency legislation was then passed and the government took control, concerned that if it didn't, then it would leave Britain in a weak position in terms of infrastructure and economic security. That legislation gave government control, but it stopped short of nationalising the company, so Jingye remained the official owners. Since then, there have been negotiations about transfer of the site, and that appears to be where the sticking point is.
And Emma, we understand this is because they're wanting millions of pounds first.
Yes, the crux of this issue is the two sides' evaluations. Ministers had been hoping that Jingye would hand over ownership of the loss-making company for a nominal fee. British Steel is in debt to the tune of hundreds of millions of pounds to its parent company. Now, Jingye is maintaining, though, that it's still worth a great deal of money and wants a significant payout. Remember that earlier this year, they rejected a £500 million buyout offer from the government. Now, we approached British Steel about the reports today. They declined to comment. For their part, a spokesperson with the Department of Business and Trade said that we acted quickly to ensure the continued operation of the blast furnaces and are working with Jingye to determine the best long-term sustainable future for the site. Meanwhile, local MP Nick Dakin urged the business to exit with their heads held high. He said the sooner questions about ownership of the business are put to rest, the better. And I think many people connected to this site will feel the same.
Emma Wilkinson live in Scunthorpe, and a bit of an approval for your performance there from the passing lorry. Thank you.
A man is due to appear in court in October in connection with the death of a 9-year-old girl in Boston Town Centre 3 years ago. Lilia Valutite was playing with a hula hoop outside the shop where her mother was working in July 2022 when she suffered a single stab wound to the chest. 25-year-old Devidas Skibas has been charged with her murder. An administrative hearing held at Lincoln Crown Court today heard that Skibas is due to appear before the same court on the 3rd of October.
The policing minister has said she will meet again with the Chief Constable of Lincolnshire Police next month to discuss the force's ongoing funding challenges. Lincolnshire Police says it's the most underfunded force in the country and that without more money and a fairer funding formula, it may have to cut 400 staff and officers' jobs. Chief Constable Paul Gibson has acknowledged that improvements need to be made with the force, but says their financial situation has a major impact on what's possible. Minister Dame Diana Johnson insists she is working with Lincolnshire Police to help.
This government gave them £5.7 million to help them with absolutely, I admit they have financial challenges. They're also the only police force in this country in Engage, which is what the inspectorate do to police forces that are not performing. Now, I accept that part of that is to do with their financial situation, but there are other things that Lincolnshire need to sort out as well that the inspectorate have identified where they could be doing better for the people of Lincolnshire.
Inspectors have rated probation services in the East Midlands as inadequate. A report's found public protection was insufficient in all areas of the service. It says that regional oversight of work to keep other people safe hadn't been coordinated well enough. The Ministry of Justice say action's already been taken to bolster safeguarding checks and they're boosting probation funding by 45%.
We recognise that it's impossible for the probation service to completely eliminate risk because it's dealing with people who've been convicted often of serious offences. But we do expect the probation service to take reasonable steps to control risk so far as is possible. And quite often what we found in the cases that we inspected at a regional level was that those steps weren't always being taken, and that does have implications for the safety of actual and potential victims across the region.
Well, next to the community in rural Lincolnshire angry over plans for a large-scale chicken farm, which they say will impact negatively on their quality of life and the local environment.
The farm is planned for the village of Newton near Sleaford, and it includes 6 new poultry houses and infrastructure to support them. Those behind the farm say it's necessary to keep up with demand from supermarkets.
But residents say on top of plans for a new reservoir and green energy infrastructure projects like solar farms, it's just one step too far. Sally Patterson reports.
Lincolnshire has more factory farms than any other county, nearly 200, and this field near Sleaford could soon house the latest one. The proposed chicken farm site borders several small villages, quaint, historic communities who say they don't want a so-called chicken mega farm on their doorstep.
I think it's going to have a real big impact on families in this area. Not only have they worked hard to get their houses and to buy their houses, but they're now going to be in a situation where their house prices are potentially going to go down. Their day-to-day life is going to be impacted by the smells, the HGV and the general traffic that's going to be caused by this development. It's really going to change the way that they live their lives.
Villagers have banded together to fight the plans, gathering signatures and handing out leaflets.
They're not going to be able to peck around on the ground. They're just going to be in these sheds, fed until they're the right weight and then killed.
And Steve, if this was a different type of farm, a free-range farm that was being proposed just down the road, how would you feel then?
I wouldn't really have such a strong objection at all. I mean, people have to eat. I mean, I realise that.
This is a local debate fuelled by an ever-growing national appetite.
Behind me is the proposed site for this chicken farm, and the applicant says it's needed to meet supermarket demand. In recent years, major chains have signed up to higher welfare standards, and that means fewer birds per cage, meaning more space is needed to house them.
The National Farmers Union backs that view, calling it essential for farmers to meet demand for higher welfare, environmentally friendly and nutritious food. Developers also say the site would sit a kilometre from the nearest home, use renewable energy and be monitored by the Environment Agency. But campaigners argue the whole model is flawed.
They're using massive amounts of water and feeding massive amounts of animals in factory farms. So the solution is reduction of meat and, growing more plants to feed humans, not these animals in factory farms.
The application is now in the hands of North Kesteven District Council. A council spokesperson said, as a live application, we cannot comment further, but we want to reassure residents that all representations will be carefully considered under planning law.
This whole A15, A52 junction is going to be heaving.
This is just one of several planning proposals, caught up in a wider fight over food, farming and the future of Lincolnshire's landscape. Sally Patterson, ITV News, near Sleaford.
And this is Thursday night's calendar with Laura Rostron and Ian White. Still to come, one heck of a view, the appeal for volunteers to run the Spurn Lighthouse.
And looking ahead to the weekend, are we still warming up and am I still sticking full medallion sunshines on my chart? All the detail a little later on.
Thank you, Carrie. But first, the spread of misinformation on social media is being blamed for a big drop in the number of women taking the contraceptive pill.
It was first introduced in Britain in 1961 and has prevented millions of unwanted pregnancies. It's said to be 99% effective, but some people have raised concerns about possible side effects.
Now, doctors and pharmacists are hitting back, dispelling myths and urging worried women to go and talk to health professionals. Hannah Ludlow reports.
For as long as the contraceptive pill has existed, it's been under scrutiny.
The shock reports claim that pills containing a high dose of progestogen give an increased risk of breast and cervical cancer.
I'd like to see some more evidence, but it does make you think.
It's quite worrying to me, yeah.
The pill is 99% effective if used correctly and can help with other conditions like acne and painful periods. But not everyone is convinced. There's been a 20% drop in pill usage in the past 10 years.
There is so much misinformation floating around on social media.
Dr. Frankie Jackson-Spence thinks it could be down to myths spreading on social media, something she uses her own platform to bust.
Some are a little bit more trivial, like the pill can cause weight gain or alter your sex drive, all the way to more serious claims like the pill causing infertility and even some cancers. The pill is actually a really safe medication. We've used it for years. I think we have to remember that everyone's individual and the way that we react to hormones or any medications in terms of side effects and, the things we may experience is different.
At some pharmacies, the contraceptive pill can now be given out for free without the need to see a GP. Here in Hull, they're still advising people to discuss any concerns with a healthcare professional.
We are fully trained to give personalized and accurate information to the patient. We have the latest, clinical evidence, for the patients. So my advice, definitely, because if when it comes to your health, it's always better to come to a healthcare professional that they're going to give you the right advice.
So this is the contraceptive coil. This particular one's a hormonal coil. So you can see it sits within the uterus.
Staff at this reproductive clinic say other forms of contraception are becoming more popular than the pill, and not just because of social media.
The contraceptive coil is very popular, particularly the one that doesn't have any hormones in, as people want to move away from using hormones to something non-hormonal. The implant is another example of a long-acting reversible form of contraception. It's for 3 years and it's a fit and forget method. So this can be really good for people who don't want to take a pill every day or might not be as good at remembering to take a pill every day.
The message from the experts is clear. Contraception isn't one size fits all, and we should approach the medics before believing the myths. Hannah Ludlow, ITV News.
Some more news stories from around the region. Brown bin collections in Rotherham have been paused immediately as the council tackles the general rubbish delays. Residents who pay for the garden waste service will not be receiving it until the beginning of September. Rotherham Council has apologised for the inconvenience and will speak to those impacted about a solution. Garden waste can still be disposed of at household waste recycling centres.
Water from Lincolnshire will be moved as far as Buckinghamshire to meet water demands across the country. A pipeline is in the works between North Lincolnshire and Essex to take water from areas with higher rainfall to drier counties. The government warned earlier this year that the UK could run out of drinking water by 2035. That's if major changes to the water supply aren't made. Plans for 2 new reservoirs, one near Sleaford, are being considered. Anglian Water admitted that Lincolnshire could run short of water if nothing is done. And you can see more stories from around the region at any time by logging onto our website. It's the usual address, itv.com/calendar, just to remind you there.
Well, after calendar, it's the ITV Evening News at 6:30. Let's find out what's on the programme from Lucrezia Millerini.
Coming up on tonight's ITV Evening News, dying for a new look. Will the government's plans to regulate the cosmetic industry protect people? Also, interest rates are cut again, despite warnings that food prices will be going up. And Shaking a tail feather, scientists discover cockatoos can dance and they've got plenty of moves to prove it. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Yes, we will definitely be watching that one.
Reminded me of you
Chris,
dancing that, actually.
It could have been, yeah.
I'll
Letting off a bit of
definitely be
steam.
watching.
Right. Now then, it's been a summer of chaos at Sheffield Wednesday, hasn't it? Staff have now gone some 3 months without being paid on time. Then the players took a stand, didn't they, by refusing to play a pre-season friendly last weekend.
Money appears to have dried up for the club's owner. He claims to be willing to sell, but as yet there's no sign of a sale happening.
Now the head coach, Henrik Pedersen, has been speaking to the media today ahead of the new championship season. Our sports reporter Arif Ahmed was there, and he started by asking him what the mood was like around the club.
In the big picture, it's a tough situation for the staff, for the boys, for all employers. But if I start with the players and the staff, big respect how they handled the situation, how the staff have reacted here. It has been amazing. Of course it has been a challenge, but how they have supported each other in this environment has been amazing.
And given the situation, everyday people are affected, chefs, the cleaners, the groundsmen. Do you feel the owner has a responsibility to deal with this situation, granted the amount of people affected? In what we are living in now is a cost of living crisis. You know, there's bills to be paid.
I think, and I'm sure that the chairman also feels responsibility for this. And as he said to me, that he do all what he can to resolve the problem as quick as possible, because of course people should have the salary. And of course it has big influence if people don't get the salary.
Do you think he cares?
Of course. I think he do the best he can. This is what he said to me. Yeah.
When was the last time you spoke to him?
6 days ago.
And was there a conversation about staff and wages and the current situation and how to try and resolve that?
For me, I have a professional relationship to the chairman. And I want to speak with the chairman so I can make the best possible day for all the staff, all the players as possible. So, of course, I'm speaking with him and I do all what I can to make the best daily life for our staff, our players as possible.
The players have asked for clarity, saying they're finding out sometimes the same time as everyone else. Do you think you and the players deserve that clarity and understanding and communication of what's happening?
I think all deserve a clarity, but again, I do all what I can together with the players to prepare us in the best possible way to the Leicester game on Sunday.
Yes, the new manager of Sheffield Wednesday talking there to our sports reporter Arif Ahmed. Welcome back, by the way.
Me?
Yes.
Thank you.
You've been away for a few days.
Well, yeah, it was only a week. It wasn't that long. But
what was the weather like where you went?
Well, you see, I went to Cornwall, didn't I?
Ah, nice.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was good. It was good. But I think it's going to be nicer here, isn't it? This next
Might
week.
have picked the wrong week if you like it very warm and quite sunny, because next week is looking like potentially our fourth heat wave of the summer.
To be honest, I just like to be outdoors, so it doesn't really matter to me whether it's hot or cold.
I prefer it this week, which has sort of been mid-20s, which is kind of my bag really, but we have had a few showers today, displayed quite nicely in Samantha's photograph here. You can see sunny spells either side of like a line of showers that developed and pushed their way southeastwards during the afternoon, but if you were either side it felt quite nice in the sunshine, although it's been a little bit blustery. And you've all been out and about on your travels because it's summer. Everything's looking a little bit green. I don't know if you've noticed, because we've had average rainfall in July. It's sort of just pepped up the green, not looking quite as dry as it has been. But Ian has said that Tattershall Castle, I think I've said that right, the medieval moat, he's never ever noticed it completely dry, which it is at the moment. I think it can be in our summer months, but yes, it's definitely dry there. He's on an outing with his grandkids. He's doing his grandfather duties there, which we also have to do in our summer months. Okay, I need to talk about the heat wave. You might have heard in the press, I mentioned this very briefly yesterday, Storm Dexter is this area of low pressure out in the Atlantic. It's all to do with the Western Atlantic hurricane season. It's a tropical storm at the moment. It's not even a storm as it comes towards us. We're concentrating really on the heat that's going to get dragged up because of that low pushing its way north and eastward. So if I run the sequence over the next couple of days, you can see that all those deeper reds over Spain will start to work their way northwards. And temperature-wise, actually, I mean, I'm being quite conservative on the forecast at the end of the programme, probably high 20s, but we could be looking at 30, 31 in places Monday, Tuesday next week. And our average, even in our warming world, our average is about 21 for August. So that's really quite warm.
It is.
So yeah, stay tuned to the details. If you like that, of course, if you like it really warm, it's too warm for me, for sure.
It's the hosepipe ban as well, so you think about the garden. And...
I know, yeah, we need some more rain, but it looks like a dry week, actually. All of next week it looks dry. But what is tomorrow, the 8th of August? So you know how I like to look back at some of our photos. So here's a picture of Spurn Point on the 8th of August 2022. There you go, great view from the top of the lighthouse.
It's funny you should mention
How timely, how timely.
Yes, actually, thank you very much, because have you ever wondered what it would be like to be a lighthouse keeper? Or do you maybe have a passion for iconic structures and maritime heritage? Well, then this could be for you, as Yorkshire Wildlife Trust are looking for volunteers to help with Spurn Point Lighthouse.
Imagine that, it's the tallest in the north of England, so having a head for heights is essential, as Sarah Clark reports.
For nearly 100 years, it served as a beacon by day and a light by night, helping to keep sailors safe as they navigate the mouth of the Humber. Standing 128 feet high and shining so bright, the Spurn Point Lighthouse could be seen for 17 nautical miles. It was decommissioned in 1985 and lay derelict until 2016, when it was reopened as a visitor centre.
It's a fantastic building. This has been here since 1895.
145 steps lead to the viewing platform and the stunning sights this Grade 2 listed building has to offer.
Very top now, you get all the best views in the lot. It's really important just to understand how Spurn has played a role in the navigation of the Humber, the importance of the Humber to shipping, and this is a really unique experience and a really unique vantage point right in the middle of a National Nature Reserve. On a really clear day, sometimes it's possible to see as far as the Humber Bridge. On a not so clear day, there's plenty of more interesting things to see on the reserve related to both the terrestrial and the marine restoration work that the Trust does here.
Wanting more volunteers to come forward. Why is that?
It is a little bit more challenging to get to than some of the volunteer opportunities. We've got 9 active volunteers at the moment. We would like to double that ideally, so if we can spread that commitment across a wider pool of volunteers, that would be great, and it just allows us to keep the lighthouse open.
Here at the lighthouse,
Maritime fan Nick Jackson has been a volunteer here for the last 5 years.
it's a privilege, it's not just a job, it's a beautiful area to be in. I can go up the lighthouse, look at the incredible views from the top, and also enjoy talking with visitors. Older people coming down who remember being here and like to see it, but also you get little kids coming down and they rush to see what the view's like at the top. It's fantastic. It is a beacon, it's a sentinel of the seas, and it's just such a special place.
Beautiful, isn't it? I'm not sure it's for me though. Have you got a head for heights?
I have got a head for heights, I'd be fine, and I wouldn't mind being alone, all that peace and quiet and tranquility. It'd be very nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, beautiful views as well.
Really, really nice.
Yeah.
What a job for somebody.
I
Wow.
know, somebody is going to really enjoy that. Quite windy there, wasn't it, today?
It certainly was. So shall we see what the weather has in store? Here's Kerry.
A clear start makes way for a day of ancient discoveries. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Hello again. Yes, a few rainbows around today, but even where we have the cloudier skies and a bit of showery rain sinking south and eastwards, the heather starting to come through now and looking most beautiful indeed. Definitely some sunshine in the mix over the coming few days. We start to settle down and warming up, and basically from tomorrow through the weekend and into next week, a mostly dry story with some long sunny spells around. Still a little bit breezy for tomorrow and first thing on Saturday, and then high pressure builds, any low pressure systems staying to the north and west of us, but in turn feeding in the warmer air, especially by the end of the weekend and the start of next week. So in the next few hours, still a few residual showers, but for most of us, we are dry with clear spells overnight tonight, and temperatures, whether you're rural or in towns and cities, just a couple of degrees above where we'd expect for the time of year. In shelter, under those clearer skies, perhaps an 8 or 9 Celsius. 5:30 and 8:45, sometimes as we head into Friday. It's a decent day tomorrow, plenty of sunshine from the word go. Bright and breezy, quite gusty winds over the Pennines in the Peak District, could gust in excess of 35-40 miles an hour, but for most of us, not too bad at all. Plenty of sunshine and the temperatures rising, particularly for parts of Lincolnshire. Down in the south, perhaps 24-25 Celsius quite comfortably, with a fine evening to come. There is this little system pushing its way in from the northwest, but tending to fizzle out as it comes towards us. So plenty of sunny spells expected on Saturday, and again highs of 24 Celsius. But it's really from Sunday that we see plenty of sunshine, lighter winds, and some very warm temperatures potentially by day and by night.
TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Oh, the heather, of course, that's out, isn't it?
It's nice, isn't it? It's pretty hardy in all weathers, and it's starting to come through. Looks great. Isn't it?
We had some that was affected by the drought, but I think it's probably all right. But hey, I'll tell you a little secret, you know.
What?
Heather's on camera 4, and she's going to take us out. Good night. Take us away, Heather.